I like teaching this class. I am somebody who appreciates what I call the art of single blue. The reason I like single blue so much is I had an affinity for it when I started fighting because I thought it was the coolest thing. You only need one sword. It was all about essentially kind of fencing and whatnot. You know, my defense was pretty good until I went into strike and then just get murdered by like 4 swords. Block. Cool. Dead. Until like the day somebody's like, pick up another sword. And then that kind of changed things. So essentially, a lot of people don't like single blue. A lot of the veterans just, for whatever reason, it's not their thing. Because, you know, sword board or red or Torrington. Now I'm okay as a fighter. What I found out, I'm a roller cross guy, sword and board, some people just murder me every single time. You know, I take my sense, I'm like, I got this, how did I do that? Then something happens, we play a game, so whatever, we're both going sword and board. I'm like, this guy, no, I'm sorry, single blue. This guy, I'm like, all right, he's gonna kill me. And then I just take him down, I'm like, wait, what? Fight someone else single blue. I'm like, no, he's better than me, he's better than me. I kill him, I'm like, something's wrong here, this doesn't make sense. It's because a lot of people don't take the time to appreciate how important single blue actually is to pretty much a lot of melee combat. Even if it's just getting the mechanics down right and just like realizing where your weapon needs to be and having it return, that's important. So, just even to start as the basics, single blue, what I like to do, I have a stance. Everybody's got a stance, but I know one is like as my safety, which is essentially, I don't necessarily take a fencer stance, it's not like a fencer stance. Some people get into this kind of fight, then it becomes a linear. It becomes coming at you, coming at me. The problem with that is that you kind of limit yourself, taking what otherwise would have done a fighter stance, which normally is like facing my leaf foot, facing right at the other person. This is like out to the side. Because if I need to, I have to go this way, stepping over and moving that way. That way, it's like, hey, guess what? You dodge something, you gotta swing farther out, and I'll chop you. And then always, what I like to do, what I learned a lot of people do, is that empty hand, as opposed to just kind of keeping it down and doing something else, versus swinging, just come over and like, yeah, just keep that sucker like about up here. That way if something gets through, boom, still alive. Now, when it comes to the actual striking return thing, some people doing like these big, luscious freaking swings, and they do have their moment. It is important, like getting around something or like backing away and hitting something. But sometimes I've noticed people have a tendency of lingering a little too long in a shot. So make contact and they'll stay there like, did it hit? The problem with that is people are fast to be like, oh, it's still there, and then you get a snap in the elbow or something like that. So more often than not, a lot of what's saved in my butt is throwing the shot and then bringing it right back here. That serves 2 purposes. One, you're catching something that you're not seeing coming. I've thrown stuff and just come back and just out of reflex and then you see this guy. All right, cool. Totally did that on purpose. And also, snap back, something else is over. Because the longer you spend out here, the less time you have to throw a second shot. If you can just snap, go back, that works. Again, we're going to see how that ties into other stuff too. The mechanics of how you do it is important. It actually is important. It's not all a bunch of arm stuff. What people will learn later on in fighting, a good, solid, fast shot actually starts with your feet. Now, kind of like boxing, you're trying to punch or whatever. You dig in, you throw a shot, like we're going to throw a straight shot here. I'm actually generating force off that back leg. You'll see me when I fight, I actually rotate on that leg. And just splash the shot through it. Because you're harnessing that power to just boom, all your muscles using your foot, your hip, your shoulder, down there. Like to throw a faster shot, I'll actually step back. Just a couple inches. When I really want to like lean into something, I get over there and just like back, and then everything just lines up. Picture like a whip. Like whip makes a big ass loud crack. Because, I mean, just think, in order to do that, you're starting off with your arm, whipping out, and what you're doing essentially is you're building up that force. By the time it connects, so much power comes through. And that's the idea. You're generating that force over. And notice I actually have a little fancy thing when I throw a shot. But essentially, I'm throwing myself, I'm arcing myself, throw that shot. The shoulders are very important because of that. This is what's kind of sending everything the right way that it needs to go. Versus some guys, you see them just like doing a lot of arm stuff. The problem with that is it's not super effective. I mean, I can do this, Now if I put some like hip into it, there's some difference just throwing it out there. And again, that's where you get the speed. Everything just comes really fast. Also, it saves you time. Once you learn how to generate that much power, yeah, I'm probably going to move you. There's the bubbles. So, anyway, so the difference being a quick shot. So, like just a regular arm shot here without using like any hip or anything like that. I'm going to put some heat on this, right? Okay. There's some power behind that versus like being able to use the same amount of power but making him a little bit faster. And notice, in order to do that much power, I'm here and I have to crank on that. Versus here, a solid snap, you don't really see. That's just me, especially being a bigger dude. The way I explain to people, it's just me throwing my fat in one direction and having the power to generate on the side. It's not so far, it's not just straight snaps. Hip shot or even under. And that's all me just rotating off that back leg and sending that around. I mean, it's really cool. I've been surprised when I've been able to hit. Oh.
There is a camera there, guys.
That was Zell.
Huh?
Hey. No, so yeah, no, so you can totally see the difference there. And it's not because I'm just big. Like I've seen smaller people, like all right, little dude, and just crank the hell out of him. Just, where did that come from? Dear God. It's just because he like dug in, got that center of gravity, and just pitched in. And again, a big, solid chop. There's nothing wrong with that. It's got its place, but at the same time, being able to just generate that force with minimal movement means you get a quick strike, you get a strong strike, and you don't get as tired. Because if I'm one of those dudes just like this and that, versus using the energy properly and just boom, 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 get less winded, and plus you have more chance of, or less chance of getting sniped by something else. So for the most, that's single cool as far as that goes. Now, is so the idea is here. Quarantine is a little trickier as far as it goes. I still consider it a little bit of an art form because people do like doing it, but not a ton, even though sword and board is kind of the standard. This takes a little bit more practice because you're doing all this with this one now. But the idea is the same. You have to teach yourself. You get the shift. Normally, single blue for the most part. You know, it's your lead for forward, whatever sword hand is there. You know, single blue, blah blah blah. Here, you get to change it up. If I'm going against somebody left-handed, you can actually switch up your stance, which is totally different. It also opens you up for something else. But the idea is still there. When you set up, normally it's 14 when I do because I'm just so this is me standing, like big dude, whatever. When I go Florentine, I actually step up, take a little half step back, so swing down, turn to the side. Because now, here I'm as Florentine. Less targets, less this and that, whatever. Now also, when I'm in this position, this means I can really dig in and throw shots. Parry snap, or a feint, block over, or switch it over and do it the opposite way. Now this isn't just something, yeah, I'm going to go do that now because that means you have to do it with having your left hand. Even I am still learning to do stuff left-handed. When it comes to that, it's just basic, okay, let's hit back, 1, 2, yeah. But ultimately, you can generate the same amount of power coming from both sides. Learning from the arc off that back leg, snapping inside, snapping over, snapping across. But that, like, Florentine takes single blue and just kicks it up in there as far as that goes. So now you have to double your efforts. Like, okay, I got this down, now I got to change it over here. And that takes a little bit of practice. What I like to do, if you can find some kind of practice similar, is I have like a really big heavy sword. I got this big thing, and I use a heavy bar, and I'll just practice swinging out. And you can tell when you're doing something wrong. You pitch it out and it just kind of, nope. So all of a sudden you're generating that force with your left hand. All of a sudden, boom, boom, it feels good. Okay, so by the time you get flow, now I'm like, okay, right, left, yes! And then you just start doing that. So essentially the way it works is like pretty skilled with a single blue, newbie with a single blue. That's how my body's kind of broken up right now, but once you start really getting in there and practicing, like, get good with all the stuff we were talking about. Here, over there, generate the force, then start switching it over. Cross, here, low. And just see how your body follows through and just really digs into the ground. What I actually look for is when people watch me fight, they'll find little swirly marks in the ground. So I do a lot of spinning, twisting, and all that there, and that's where that force is generated from. So that's what we're doing. Now, so there are a few different ways I like to do this. One of them really does harness the So basic stance for shortenboard is like the 8. So essentially, everyone has their different ways of doing it. I preferably like a round shield. It's kind of weird because I got big shoulders. What I found out with most round shields is that my shoulders kind of poke out. So I'm like, all right, get a bigger shield. Got a bigger shield? I'm like, cool, watch my shoulders. But then I wound up having to fight around my shield. I'm like, this is crap. I don't want to do this. So I traded off. I'm like, what do I do? So I made one that was round enough that it still throws a shot and have a little hump that goes through the shoulders. So, whatever. Anyway, A-frame, basic stance, defensive foot forward, got my shield here, sword over here. Now, the way I try to explain it to people is a lot of times people forget this actually does block as well. That's where the single blue training, when you really dig it into yourself, beat it into yourself, it's like, yes, no, this blocks. If I see someone doing a lot of this stuff, because they're thinking, no, this just blocks, this just swings. What comes with that mentality though, I see someone who's doing a lot of this, and I'm like, oh, okay, one of these guys. So, I'll fake something over here, the shield moves this way and just clock them over here, or vice versa. Or, specifically somebody who likes to protect their legs with their shield. Everyone I talk to, or at least teach, I tell them, don't use your shield if you want your legs. Anyone tell me why?
Because it moves away from your torso.
Someone raise your hand. That is true, that's good as well.
Because these are a lesser target than this.
It's a less important target, yeah.
From what I learned from it, you can just move your legs quickly.
That's the other thing as well. Same thing as the single blue. That's why when I teach people single blue, I'm never teaching them to do this. Because if I see someone trying to block their legs, I'm like, oh, just drop this here and then swing over the top, and it's a pretty easy kill. Normally at that point, especially if once you find that center of gravity, like your stance, you're gonna feel pressure in your knees. If you're doing this, you'll feel more pressure. Nope. Leaning back, more pressure here. Once you find that center, you're like, everything's nice and even, that's where you need to be. And what I do is, I'm never on my heels. I'm usually off a little bit. That gives me the chance to be able to move in quickly or to back away. Now when I move the leg, it's not like a throwback. I'm not kicking my leg back. All I'm doing is just dragging it back to here. I'm just shifting the balance over here, leg back, sword goes past, and then I just lean in again. The cool part about that, somebody thinks like, okay, he's pretty flat-footed, boom, and then gone. Same thing, single blue, so none of this. If you can, just get that leg back, drag it to, probably, if you can, match the heel, at least a little bit farther back, and then get in there. If you just kind of lift up, you feel yourself falling back down right where you were. It's a pretty handy little trick. So, essentially, shield should be blocking like torso. Don't worry about anything else when it comes there. Anyway, single blue, the way that kicks in. Normally, I'm just watching this side. This doesn't move over that much. I'm not doing a bunch of this, but I am arcing my torso just ever so slightly to catch stuff. Because it's kind of crazy to think about what you can block with just here's the swing, just a little pinch there. It's not hitting you. Just that little bit there is all you need. Versus, but once you obviously when you're here with the shield angled a little bit here, yes, all this is open. But that's where you train yourself, especially with the single blue training, to just drop that sword here. Because this blocks. I'm just learning this now more so myself. That I'm rolling up on somebody, I'm like, don't waste your shield, because they're doing this to me, they're punking me all the time. Faking over here, I move a little bit, they just tag me. So now it's just, okay, single blue, single blue, single blue. Block, 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 this swing over, bam! I'm like, yes! And then, good. So do like that. You guys can see this. Go ahead and so what happens here? Now look what's open on her with my angle. all of this here. That's awesome. So once you actually learn that, you not only open up a new way of defense, but a lot of new attack. That's really cool too to get over to. Oh, but I'm showing you the torso for straight up kill. That's pretty awesome. And aggression. So it's something a little bit different than not a ton of people do. Some people do. I actually kind of kick up the single balloon notch a little bit, as it were. You know, the basic A-frame, I actually swap feet and fight this way. So the reason I fight this way is because it's straight up my single blue stance. This is straight up me fighting single blue on somebody. Except instead of having my hand here, I got a damn shield. So that's pretty cool. So for me personally, this opens up a lot more shots away versus having to fight around myself, which this is still good defense. This is still really good defense. This is less defense, but I get to set the pace of the fight. So I'm here keeping my, what I like to do, I use a punch, so I usually keep my hand like around where it would be as if I was so that kind of keeps it right here. So like I'm pretty well blocked over here, so if something comes out, I just kind of pitch a little bit here, and this is blocked. This stance actually teaches you to block more of your right side or left side, one hand here. But straight up I realize I'm going to get killed over here and start blocking stuff. But then that teaches you to return fire and just all the single blue stuff. I like little flares. But it really does kind of open you up for that. Teach yourself to block, strike, and yeah, especially once you learn a lot of side stuff, like practicing a blue. It's like, okay, it's not linear. Drop someone's leg. You start doing it with the shield. Drop the leg, block. It really ties in, especially once you start doing this. Like, practice your single blue, keep doing it, then hand the shield to yourself and just keep trying to do this. It kind of opens things up a lot. It's been a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it. Now, so just move on a little bit of how you would actually do it. So, essentially what I found out, I am not a good red striker. Not. Someone gave this to me. So I was like, I guess I'll do something with it. So I wound up just thinking, it's like a big single blue, except but the mechanics are virtually the same for the most part. That I have my stance, I set up, and it's about blocking, striking, and getting it right back here. Some people have a tendency of doing like a big old like chop immediately out there. And again, that leaves the opportunity of like, oh, that was fun. Versus, you know, snap back, snap. Especially being able to read what's coming in. With the single blue training, you'll learn that when I block, you look at what's open now. If they extend it a certain way, I return with this, I return with that, vice versa, I stab. It's kind of like, it's like the more advanced single blue, essentially. Once you get that down, swing back. Once you get the protection factor, if I swing and bring it right back, you're really like, I can actually do red. So, blue training. And it's kind of ingrained on you. It's like the same concept, just a lot more swinging and slashing there. And funny thing with the red.
You can use mine, it's a mech shield.
Would you like me to hold the shield?
Yes, sir. There you go. All right, so now, even though I'm doing something entirely different than blues, and reds, the idea of being able to build the same amount of force, like the same way. Now, granted, I'm not trying to teach little tappy reds because those aren't good for anyone. Take a red, take a red, take a red. That doesn't work. But so at the same time, you know, a big meaty swing counts. But being able to do one fast, precise, but with the required amount of force is good, and it comes the same way, generating that power off your foot, digging in, do it this way actually. So watch, we do the exact same thing as I was doing with the blue. I'll show you. So, here's the blue, set up, okay. See, it's just like throwing that punch right there. Now, same thing with the red, right here. Nice kind of solid shot, and it's all you just kind of lining yourself up into a whip, just digging in, boom, right there. And also, even if you want to rear back a bit as well, it's got a little, something in there, and it's just that little extra something you need to build the power. If you're not like, at that point, it's like, he's swinging. Versus here, you know.
It's not even that big freaking upstroke that he was doing. That's just like,
Yeah, it's like,
go ahead.
I should basically be screaming as I'm doing it. Yeah. So, yeah, the idea is, you know, I was like, why? Look at that. That was pretty
Right
good.
there.
And I was just stepping into it and just digging into that foot. Is this pretty much making sense so far?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any questions so far? Cool. Now, for the hell of it, I got a little game I want to play with you guys.